What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Crime Pays and Botany Doesn't. We're only 2 miles from the Mexican border and probably 2 miles from the shopping slums of McAllen here in beautiful South Texas. The shopping slums, you should really see them. I mean, there's a lot of parking lot there. Really nice heat island, just a giant heat island. Anyway, you can see behind me, this is what I'm about to show you would have been a couple years ago, only a few years ago. You see it's just mostly dry, dead soil. There's a couple, quote, weeds. We got some native Ceiba mexicanas, native Ceiba palms. But, you can see it's very, very hot here. Hottest place in the United States, much hotter than Phoenix. Phoenix gets individually hotter days, but we have more cumulative heat throughout the year. It'll be 85 degrees on Christmas. Anyway, turning the camera around, you can see what's been done here. And why I love this so much is that it's not horticulture, it's just infrastructure. This is all native plants, and they've been put in. There's a little path, there's a little informational sign, which is nice in case people wonder what the hell is this, because this is probably going to blow some minds down here since people have been so alienated from the landscape and isolated from nature. But this explains what's going on, that little sign. And what's going on here is basically all these plants evolved here. They're natives. They're the best equipped at dealing with the intense heat, the climate, the precipitation regimen, the humidity. We're very close to the Gulf Coast here as well, and just the intense heat that we deal with. I mean, some of these plants are incredibly heat tolerant. I know all these plants by name, by genus and species. They're like old friends. So we're going to get into this, see what's going on, see how this came to be, and look at the benefits of this over that. Okay, so with me here today is John Brush, urban ecologist for the city of McAllen, and one of the directors at Quinta Mazatlan, which is a really wonderful institution here in McAllen, Texas. John, what the hell's going on here, and how did you get started? How did this whole thing come to fruition?
So this is an example of kind of a Miyawaki method tiny forest planting right here in the city of McAllen. What you're seeing over my shoulder here is about 2.5 years old. And all these plants were planted from 1-gallon pots or plant bands in March of 2023.
So explain what a plant band is. It's like 2 inches wide, 8 inches deep,
yeah, it's
little
like
paper tube.
A thin paper tube. It's what the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service uses a lot for their restoration projects here in South Texas.
And you can fit 50 of them in a milk crate. Yeah. And what's good about them is they put all the growth into the taproot instead of going laterally.
Yeah.
Which is, in this hot climate, stuff wants to get under there, get out of the heat.
So basically, tiny forest method is pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. It's like site prep. So McAllen Parks and Rec helped us out here. They disked it. They added some compost topsoil blend to kind of add some nutrition, add some organic matter to the soil, help retain that moisture.
Make it fluffier a little bit.
Make it fluffier, make it nicer. Then we came in and we did a really dense planting of 30 plus native species. So these are actually 3 kind of back-to-back-to-back plantings. And so altogether, we probably have 50 plus native species in this area.
What I love about it is that it's dense. It looks like the thorn scrub because that's the native habitat here. So the native habitat here is Tamaulipan thorn scrub. That's a specific habitat type. If this was in the Midwest, we'd be doing prairie. If it was, South Miami, it'd be doing pine rockland. Front Range Colorado's got its own habitat type. Minnesota's got its own habitat type. Southwest has its own habitat, whatever. But this looks like when you go to, what crumbs of habitat are left, and you see all the plant species here, and it's diverse. And that's what I love about this is you guys. I mean, I think it looks great, but you didn't put a whole lot of focus onto design, because design doesn't matter.
No.
It's infrastructure.
Yeah.
It's fucking infrastructure. It's cooling the landscape, which is really important here. Evapotranspiration of leaves. Plants are nature's swamp coolers. They're also preventing the sun from hitting the ground and charging up the heat battery that is the ground, and just feeding all the life around here too. It's just infrastructure. That's what I love about this.
Yeah, so one of the cool things about it is, like, you can see the emergent trees. This is mostly Retama, this is Parkinsonia aculeata. We also have some honey mesquite, Neltuma glandulosa. We've got some Huisache or sweet acacia, that's Vichelia farnesiana.
It smells delightful when it blooms.
So what we did is we tried to do a mix of early successional species along with like slower growing late cereal stage
like
species.
Pioneer species.
So pioneer species, and then those slower growing species that'll benefit from that early emergent canopy that these early pioneer species
Right, the
will put
pioneer
out.
species create a milder microclimate that keep more humidity in, keep it cooler for the sun's not, because compare growing in this to growing in that, right? It's going to be a lot easier to, if you're a seedling, to get going in this than in that barren soil. So you mix pioneer species or early successional species with some of the stuff that takes longer to get established.
Yeah, so as we walk through, you'll see we've got Echinopsis ebano, we've got Randia in here, we've got we've got Torchwood, the Amyris texana. We've got a bunch of plants that you'll see in older kind of thorn forest, thorn scrub habitats that are getting there, but they're still not like the dominant like biomass.
Right,
yet.
they take a while to get established. Like ebony doesn't grow as fast as Palo Verde, but it's an amazing tree when they get established.
And here's, I think this is blackbrush, the
Yeah,
Chelia
this
rigidula
thing
here.
smells incredible. All these legumes smell incredible when they flower.
I'm super excited for next spring, when all the blackbrush and the Guajillo and the
Oh my
Huisache
God.
is gonna bloom. It's gonna be gorgeous.
It's like
gonna
perfume.
smell great.
Huisache was used in French perfume back in the day.
It's a great fun fact. It looks like that.
Yeah, look at these ebonies with that divaricating zigzag branching. But anyway, so this is, a lot of people would see this and they'd say, oh, it's just weeds, to which I always say, well, you just think they're weeds because you've been alienated from the life around you. Not everything looks like the Home Depot garden section. A lot of the stuff you see in the Home Depot garden section not only isn't from North America, but it's not from anywhere. It was bred. They're products of hybridization. They're cultivars, so this is what makes sense. This is the life here. Oh yeah, look at it.
I love the little solanums. This plant gets a lot of hate,
It's
but
the
I
toughest plant.
love that plant because the flowers are gorgeous. It's the host plant for some really cool little beetles.
And moths, and the bumblebees love it. It's got
exactly.
that buzz pollination, and it's tough as nails. I mean, that is a pioneer species. It's something that you get a lot of when you've got a barren environment after disturbance, like we got down there. But after this stuff gets established, you don't see it anymore because it needs full sun and it gets out competed. So it's just priming the landscape. The roots break up the soil. It's keeping the sun off the ground. It's providing a lot of food for cool critters and for the moths and all the important pollinators. So anyway, but this is something. So you would see. What would you say to someone who said this is weeds? I mean, you'd probably be nicer than I would. What would you say?
I'd say weeds are just unwanted plants. And if you think about this as infrastructure, like you're saying, right? We're valuing this space because of the cooling that it provides. We're valuing it for increased water infiltration. We're valuing it for biodiversity support. So it's not about looking pretty, which is subjective. It's
Totally
about
subjective.
what this does for us and for our local organisms.
So this is a whole new way to really think of plants. Instead of just being something that sits in the corner and looks pretty and acts as like a nice backdrop for a wedding photo, suddenly they've got a point. It's not just, can I eat it? Is it psychoactive or is it pretty? It's, wow, they're cooling the landscape. They're decreasing the risk of flooding. I mean, think about all the roots here. I mean, some of these are phreatophytes, like the mesquites, a lot of the legumes especially, they're phreatophytes. They send out really, really deep roots. As those roots grow, they break up the soil, they create porosity, and water infiltrates. It's the difference between pouring water on a dry sponge versus pouring it on a brick.
So we did give the tiny forest plantings a little bit of water at the very beginning of their life. So we planted them in March of 23. That's not like the ideal time of year to plant. Generally, you want to plant in September, October, November range. But we put it in March. We did give it a little bit of water, so there is some irrigation out here. But after that first summer of 2023, which we had over 90 days of 100 plus degrees temperature.
That was a brutal summer, yeah.
We haven't really watered it since. It is on its own. And yeah, there's a few plants here and there that don't look super happy right now, but like in terms of long-term survival of this thorn forest, like we want it to be the plants that are adapted to this particular site and that have made it here.
I mean, it looks lush to me, and especially imagine if you're a bird flying over this and you've got nothing but parking lots and consumer slums and roads and cul-de-sacs, and then you see this big green strip. Where are you going to go, right?
One of the cool things is I studied birds for my master's degree, and I saw green jay in here earlier this summer. And green jays in my studies were only in areas that had like nice 30% canopy cover or more. Like they had a lot of trees in neighborhoods. And so it was really special to see one using this space, because like it's young, and it's like, hey, it's making a difference for a green jay, it's making a difference for a cardinal. And it's also been really cool to see people walking out here. So we come out here regularly to do some trail maintenance, and people are walking their dogs, people are riding their bikes through here. Like, it's people and it's wildlife and it's green infrastructure all in a tight little package.
Okay, so you're saying this is older. This stuff is older. This is, when was this put in?
So this was the earliest. This was March of 2023. That next section down that we just walked past, that was November and December.
Of
so
2020. Okay, so that's like 2 years. This is 2.5.
Yeah. But what's cool is you can already see it then. These Texas ebonies were in plant bands, and now they're like, what, 7 foot, 8 foot tall trees?
So you said these were in plant bands, which is, so these were tiny. They were like pinky diameter and what, like 8 inches tall?
They're
maybe?
Like maybe 12 inches tall.
So in 2.5 years, you got this ebony to over 7 feet.
Yeah, and ebonies are thought to be pretty slow growing. So it's pretty cool to have them putting on this good size. And to me, it's a good like point of emphasis to encourage people to plant small when like the roots are better structure.
Way easier. But also what I've learned being here is, again, it's way easier to grow in this microclimate created by all the other plants where you're protected from wind, from drying out, and there's more humidity in this immediate area, and you're not getting, it's much easier to grow here than in a barren area. So that's probably why this sped up. But that's still, 7 feet on a Texas ebony in 2 years. And so we should mention why this is called Texas ebony too, is that, the mature wood when it's cut open is a beautiful deep brown inside.
Gorgeous. And this one has some baby beans on it. So this
it's already got some pods.
It's already flowered.
And the pods on this are edible, ethnobotanically. They were eaten by native people. What's this guy over here? That's an interesting one.
So back here we have Randia. I want to call it Randia obcordata, but I can't remember for sure.
And this is in the coffee family, right?
Is it?
I'm not
so.
Sure on that. But either way, those fruits.
One just dropped off.
Oh yeah, those fruits are important as hell. The chachalacas love those things. They go apeshit over them.
Gorgeous. And this is one that you'll see in like older, more mature thorn forest, thorn scrub in the RGV, Asteriano Grande State Park, Santa Ana National Wildlife Refuge. You'll start noticing this in some of those older tracts.
So for wildlife, that's a really important plant.
Absolutely. Birds love it.
If you plant it, they will come.
And when it flowers, oh my gosh, it just gets covered in those white blooms and the pollinators go crazy for it.
Have you had luck getting people at City Hall who probably don't care about plants at all to understand the importance of this? Like, this is a birding hotspot. You got a lot of winter Texans, people coming down here from northern latitudes in the winter to come bird and spend tons of money. I have a friend who made like 80 grand just doing bird tours for people. Do they start to grasp, like, the birds need the food, they need the plants here? That supports everything, and so you increase tourism by...
Yeah, for sure. And that's one of the nice things about working at Quinta Mazatlan, which is a birding center, is my boss, Colleen Hook, has been spreading the word about this sort of thing for like 20 plus years here in the Rio Grande Valley to city leadership. And we have had commissioners, we've had other folks that have come out and seen the tiny forest and have been like, wow, it grew so fast, I can't speak. And so it's really cool to be able to talk about it and the things that it's doing for the city with those sorts of folks. It's
amazing how many people don't make the connection too. Because everyone knows RGV is important for birding.
Yeah.
Like I got, even people at City Hall, they see these people coming down here to spend money. Some of these people got fucking $8,000 lenses, for Christ's sakes.
It's insane.
It's like, people are going to spend money, but a lot of people still don't make the connection. Oh yeah, the birds need the habitat. If you don't have the habitat, they're not going to hang out. They can't hang out at IKEA or at Best Buy or, the shopping slums nearby, whatever,
Yeah, you need these little pockets of forest and dense habitats mixed into a city in order to keep a lot of the birds that people are coming down to the Rio Grande Valley to see.
So John, it sounds like what you're telling me is that there's a logic behind this. It's not just like, using paper straws or patting yourself on the back for planting native. There's actually, it's infrastructure. There's actually a logical reason behind much of this.
For sure. And like, especially in the context of a Rio Grande Valley that is hotter than it has been, it's drier than it has been, we have less water. Like, it makes sense to have this instead of planted spaces that need extra irrigation.
It's drier, but at the same time we had horrible floods in June. Harlingen flooded, stuff like this reduces flooding because that ground is broken up and made more porous by all the roots.
Yeah.
So this is, you can see it's getting dense in here now. We got Cordia bassieri, Texas olive. Again, dry is a season right here. Once this thing lights up, once you get some rain, big white flowers on it. Very important, produces a fruit that's desired by wildlife. But what I would do, like if this is my yard, as stuff grows, I would prune up the lower branches, raise the canopy so I could get in there and walk, and it's nice and open underneath, because as people, that's what we like. That's what I would do. But again, this is infrastructure. You guys are just gonna total low maintenance, keep the walkways clean, hedge it, that's it.
Yep, we're hands off now, basically. It's like, we're gonna keep it contained so that it's not coming out over the trail so people can still enjoy that. But like, what happens inside of this envelope is what happens. Like, eventually the ebonies are gonna fill in and they're gonna become the dominant canopy type. A lot of these like early successional things like the Huisache are gonna fade out. And the forest is going to change. It's going to undergo that successional pattern.
Have you guys, so are you guys doing, like, you guys are keeping track of all this, I'm sure, right? So you'll have different photos of different stages?
Yeah, we're coming out and doing like photo series. I come out and do iNaturalist observations a lot.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
just make notes and things.
Have you seen a bunch, so you probably have, this whole, green area probably has its own iNaturalist survey. Because the life just comes back. There's so much that shows up.
Oh, it was so cool that one of the, I think it was last fall, there was just butterflies. We have a bunch of Crucita over on the other side, and it was just covered in butterflies. I photographed like maybe 20 species in like 20 minutes. That's crazy. And I'm just like super thrilled to see all this life here.
A lot of that stuff you don't get further north either. It's like there's subtropical
There's some of those same like specialty butterflies, just like there's the specialty birds, just like there's the plants that don't get much further north.
Yeah. So what do you think will happen ecologically? Because this is a great experiment. As stuff gets taller, the stuff beneath will either have to grow taller or it won't get as much light, and then it'll kind of thin itself out, or what do you think will happen?
I think there's going to be some mortality of some of these early successional species.
Right, we're not going to see this in a couple of years.
We're not going to see the herbaceous cover. Already, if you look in there, there's not a whole lot of herbaceous cover. Part of that is because it's dry, it's been dry, but part of that also is like it is getting shaded out. So I think some of these species will kind of thin out, but others like the ebony, we also have Fraxinus in here. We also have Anakua iridia in here.
That's a really important, the bird, the parrots love that.
Yeah.
The Anakuas, and that's a pioneer species too. It pops up everywhere. The birds just shit out the seeds.
Yeah, so I think eventually the composition is going to change over the next 10, 15, 20 years, and I'm excited to see what it looks like.
Where'd you guys get all your stock from?
We buy from local growers, so sometimes it's kind of mixed. We buy stuff from Heap. We've bought stuff from L&L growers. We've bought stuff from Sochil Nursery.
But they're growing in plant bands.
Most of the time it's plant bands or 1 gallon pots.
Yeah, you could fit 50 plant bands in a milk crate. I love that. And they're like $4 each, so much more economic, and just stuff gets established way faster.
Yeah, and it's better for the root structure. Like digging out wild harvesting plants,
it's
big
terrible.
trees, to me, it's like you're cutting so much root material.
You're destroying roots.
It's like so much better. Like, okay, I want to show you this in a second. I'll show you an ebony tree that we transplanted wild harvest, and we'll keep in mind the size of this ebony, and you'll be able to see like this ebony is growing way faster.
Okay,
it's probably way
so this
healthier.
is 2 years old from a plant band. Let's go look at the other one.
Let's go look at the other one.
Okay, so this thing, you guys planted this. What was it in, a 5 gallon? No, this was field dug or what?
This was field dug. It's kind of got a cool story though. So this tree is the offspring of a 250-year-old Texas ebony tree growing in South McAllen that someone grew, planted at a city park, kind of as meant to be like a little urban nursery in a way. Mm-hmm. So we came in, we did wild harvest it from that site and plant it here. But you can see the size-wise, like it's not that much bigger.
It's 2 feet taller than the one that was planted as a pinky finger diameter tube. Yeah. And so, because when you rip stuff out of the ground, they have to recover. It takes them a year or two. I see these suburban, homeowners getting ripped off by landscapers planting ball and burlap stuff because it's big, but then it slowly suffers over the next 3 years and eventually dies, or just takes 4 to 5 years to catch up to. Well, if you would have planted a 1 gallon or something.
Exactly. Plus, it takes way more water because you're having to like water it more to try to get those roots to develop faster.
Yeah, because you shock it. Anytime
it.
you rip something out of the ground, you're destroying the root tips, which is where all the absorption of water comes from. Yeah, that's why. I mean, I'm glad it survived, but yeah, the other one
for
caught
sure.
up with it. It's a tortoise and hare thing for sure here.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah, so this guy so you've had volunteers show up too, like this guy, Baccharis neglecta, which is the poverty weed, super stupid name, common name, but it's a member of a genus that's got 500 species all throughout the Americas, and it's a boon for pollinators. You'll see this thing covered in butterflies. You can see it's flowering right there. I mean, this is such an important plant, the pioneer species, and just a buffet for pollinators, different kind of bees, you know, predatory wasps, stuff like that. And this guy just showed up, huh?
Yeah, that's actually been a cool thing to see too, is like some stuff might have gotten brought in on mulch. Some stuff might have been like in the seed bank, you know, underneath all the Bermuda grass that was out here. And then when it was dissed, it kind of released it. But there's been stuff that's popped up that like we certainly did not purposely bring in.
Yeah, birds and wind, man.
Birds and wind.
And probably coyotes too.
Oh, actually, we've seen scat. We've had coyotes coming through the trails here.
Yeah, I've seen a turd back there. That's why I said that they're hanging out hunting rabbits and stuff.
It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, we got frog fruit in there. We got some rocks. We got some hardscaping, some little guys. Is that Cythoraxylum or Adelia over there or what?
Adelia.
That's Adelia. That's a rare plant, man. That's a very rare plant. Euphorbiaceae, poinsettia family, some more sables. And then you said that was a field dug ebony?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, man, it's just you can't rip out trees that well. It just doesn't work. I get people trying to do that all the time. Can I move this? I said after a certain point, no, you know. And if you do, you got to, you know, cut them way back so they're not losing too much water through the leaves. So that was when was that put in? 2 years ago?
That was put in when we installed all of this.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's just
like 2.5 years
it's still taking some time to recover. And Palo Verde, you said this was a year and a half ago. This is
3 gallon.
Another immensely important pioneer species, and the flowers, the bees go apeshit for them, and they're just so good at what they do, and they grow so fast. And then, at least from my perspective, when I plant these in people's yards, you don't have to feel bad about ripping them out in 3 or 4 years, because they're a dime a dozen, and you know they serve a purpose. They help everything else get established. They don't have to be there forever or whatever. But look at that bark too. God, what a stunner. Yeah, living hummingbird feeder. Hummingbirds go apeshit for this. I'm surprised these are actually doing okay, because they tend to like a little bit of water or shade. They tend to be a little bit more of a riparian species. You see them growing in Montezuma cypress groves in Mexico. Yeah, here's another, quote, weed. So this was just a volunteer, another pioneer species. It's a relative of quinoa, which you could see in those seeds, of course. This is Chenopodium. You said this is edible too?
Yeah, and so like when you break the leaves, it smells bad.
It smells terrible. It smells very fishy.
But it doesn't taste like it smells. So you can like steam it. You can basically treat it like a spinach.
Yeah, you cook that shit down, it's fine.
Yeah.
And it's probably very nutritious too. Look at that, we got Senecio, Leucophyllum frutescens, happy as a pig and shit in full sun. You got Cythoraxylum, little stressed out from the drought, but it is the end of the season right now. It's gonna be cooling off, we'll be getting more rain. But look at that Leucophyllum is just, what a banger. Look at that. Those hairs that cause it to have that chalky mint green color are so beneficial in the heat. They really reduce how much moisture is being lost from those hairs, right? That's an adaptation to this heat. Get a lot of owls living in those sables. Right, especially when you don't prune the leaves off. I guess they probably do that because they're worried about fires here. I don't know. I like it when you leave it because a lot of cool bats and owls and stuff that eats all the pests lives in it. Right here we got Leucaena pulverulenta. This is such a pragmatic tree to plant. It grows fast as hell. You can get it to 15 feet in a single year, maybe a year and a half. There's the flowers. Very lightweight wood, easy to prune. You know, with mine, I normally prune them back, keep a single leader, and then prune the lateral branches, which make it grow taller as it grows. Instant shade, instant cover. Such an important tree. Look at that fern-like foliage. Look at that feathery. You like the feathery shit? Look at the feathery foliage. Yeah, well, we know how the mesquite seeds get around. At least there's one way. Nice coyote duke right now. Why do they do that? They shit in the middle of the trail. My dog does that. I guess I can't complain. Trixis, that's a great plant. Is anything flowering now? No. Yellow flowers when it's going off. The leaves smell really fragrant too. So this is just Mimosa strigulosa, and you could see this is a volunteer. This just formed a wonderful ground cover, and we got those nice little powder poof mimosa flowers right there. But this is, I mean, it's obviously, it's suppressing a lot of weeds and just, I mean, is this all one plant, you think? Is it all the same?
No, I think it's probably multiple plants, and we kind of encouraged it. So like we noticed it coming in, and then we like retroactively went back and we're like, oh, we're gonna help you along, friend. And we like pulled the Bermuda out, let it have a little more space, and now it's pretty much contiguous cover.
It's a great ground cover, man.
It's really cool. We did just recently plant, I think it's really small, and it closed up its leaves for the evening already. That's the Neptunia. We're hoping that we get a little bit of yellow and pink puffball flowers combo action.
Yeah, you see all those little blue butterflies on this a lot, at least I do. This is a great one, Sidnea tenuifolia. I've seen it in Nuevo Leon, West Texas, here, Coahuila. Just a total beast. It's not flowering, but each one of these, when it is flowering, each one of these flower heads would be bright yellow. It looks like a little daisy. You know, and in a yard, it flowers basically year-round because yards get a lot more moisture. Here, they're not doing anything. They just plant and forget about it. Havartia pallens, another mimosoid, white flowers. I see this thing covered in moths at night. And there's those little leguminous fruits producing tons of seed. That's another really important pioneer species. That's so good. And they can get tall, too. That'll get like 20 feet tall. I planted one behind my house. The city just came and cut it down because it was beneath the power lines. It's already going up again. You got to reinforce it with rebar or something. So this, we got Citharexilum, we got Texas soapberry, Sapindus, maple family, Sapindaceae. We got the native Opuntia. What is that? Elata. Oh, look, it's got the little cochineal, the red dye scale on it. That white stuff. Looks like somebody threw their teepee on the pads. And then we got this, which is again another ebony. That's doing great. And then we got all this croton too.
We did not plant that.
This just popped up.
That just popped up.
Oh, it's such a great one though. Look how cool it looks too. Those fuzzy mint green leaves. Yeah, we're in the wilting season. I mean, this is what it looks like when you go out to, you know, wilting is a season. This is what it looks like when you go out to habitat. What's this, Aurelia? Oh, yeah. Listen to that, those scabbard sandpaper leaves. Important though, berries are great for parrots, and they're edible to people, I guess, too. Is this Cordia?
No, this is Solanum arianthum,
the
potato tree.
Oh, these grow fast as hell, especially with water.
I've been shocked by how well they've survived, considering they're not getting any supplemental water and it's full sun out here.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're doing so good.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on underneath
That's another, like, just immensely fast grower, and the birds love the little tomato-like fruits it puts out, too.
Polynesia, we did not plant that. That came in on its own.
Yeah, that's an important pollinator plant. That thing's great. And then the prickly pears, too. I mean, they suck when you have a close encounter with them, but the flowers are the size of baseballs and just, covered in bees. There's a number of specialist bees that only hit the cactus flowers.
Yeah, there's these little Lithargopsis bees in the Megachilidae that kind of specialize on cactus flowers. I see them on this. These were from pads, like single pads that we planted, like, again, 2 years ago. So they grow pretty fast.
Jesus. Yeah, these get around too because the bird dispersed seeds. So yeah, this is a little under 2 years old. This is the younger section of forest, and you can see it's shorter, but it's still doing great. I mean, it's totally established, and it's just a matter of waiting now. You got yuccas down there too?
Yeah, so for me, we didn't really plan it out this way because, again, we're kind of just randomly putting plants in this area. But to me, this is going to be a little more thorn scrub, and that south end is going to be taller.
This is more drought tolerant stuff, more low growing chaparral kind of stuff. Yeah. Well, John, thanks a lot, man. I hope more people see this and use it as an example, because cities all over the country got to be doing this. It's so important with more heat and more flooding, etc.
One of the cool things is that this is happening all over the world. This is not just City of McAllen. There are people doing this in big cities in Brazil. There are people doing this in India, all over the place. There's a person that did a 400-acre version of a tiny forest in India.
Using natives or what?
Using natives, from what I understand. So like, this is a kind of a global thing. Like, a lot of different communities are doing this. and it's adaptable to basically whatever type of habitat is in your area.
So plants as infrastructure, not just as horticultural bullshit to look pretty, but as actual infrastructure. Thanks a lot. Good living infrastructure. Thanks, John.
Joey.
John Brush. Everybody else, have a good day. Go fix up. Bye.